It's time for the Arts and Culture feature, and today I'll be speaking with the Immigrant Council for Arts Innovation's Artist of the Month for May. ICAI is a Calgary-based arts council that helps new Canadians make inroads in the Alberta arts scene by connecting them with established arts organizations and mentors in various artistic mediums. Indian-born musician, producer, and beatmaker Partha Sarathi Gouda is the creative director and resident sound engineer at Madhuban Performing Arts, as well as the keyboardist and singer for the Madhuban Band. He joins me now to talk about this honor and his career. Hello, Partha.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today. First off, how and when did you first get on the musical path?
So this was when I started I'll dial back a little bit more. Basically, when I was a kid, I always wanted a keyboard, a piano, and wanted to play it. And because some of my friends used to play it, and I wanted to do that. But being from South Asian family, education comes first. So my parents were like, you do well in your education, and then we'll let you get into the music. So as things went on, I went into engineering, did my electrical engineering there. And during this time, I was introduced. I used to sing. Meanwhile, I used to sing. So I had some musical knowledge regarding this, but then I wasn't very thorough, and my music theory was rusty, and I was like all over the place. But then I joined this band because I was a good singer, and I had a higher tenor voice. So I was given the chance to be in the band, and from there on, the music was just flowing.
Now, you actually, as you mentioned, have a master's degree in electrical and computer engineering from the University of Calgary. How does that analytical side of your brain, how does that help you as a producer and musician?
So I feel very fortunate that actually music and electrical engineering go hand in hand. So when I went into electrical engineering, I was starting to learn things that didn't make real sense to me in the real world. But then when music happened, I was able to relate to a lot of things. Like, for example, like mixing and producing, a lot of the technology behind it, a lot of the way we are talking right now, some electrical engineer somewhere has actually developed it, right? So those kinds of things, I started relating my classroom education to the field, my music background. So that's really exciting for me when it was something like, oh, it clicks now. Like, my education is not just for finding a job. It's much more than that.
Right. You're the musical director at Madhuban Performing Arts. What is Madhuban, and how did you get involved?
So Madhuban Performing Arts is basically a non-for-profit organization. We are a registered non-for-profit organization, and it's a cultural organization where we have dancers, we have musicians, we're also getting into theater. So it's a complete package non-for-profit organization for performing arts. My role in that is actually I'm the artistic director of the music team. So I handle a lot of the decisions that need to be done for the music team. When I came to Calgary, I was pretty. I had no contacts, and back in India, I was in a band, like I had mentioned earlier. But when I came to Calgary, it was completely new, and I think I mentioned it somewhere earlier that it was more about survival rather than getting into the arts. But as things went on, I used to perform here and there, and at the university, there were a few open mics and talent shows, and I performed in one of them, and I fortunately won it. So the current artistic director, Ishita Singla, she was actually judging. She was one of the judges in that show, and she approached me, and we became very good friends. And then it's just, I'm right now working with friends in the organization, and it's pretty nice to have.
Where can we see Madhuban Band play in Calgary?
So we are actually organizing. So every month we have this open mic that we set up. And band opens the show and ends the show, finishes the show. There are tickets available on Madhuban Performing Arts, the Instagram page. Our website is under construction, so hopefully we'll have it out in a month or so. So we perform around the city. Community organizations invite us to perform in their cultural fests and things like that. We are also hosting a production in mid of September the early fall. It'll be exciting. We're hoping a lot of people come and watch us. It will be full of dance, music, and theater. So hoping to see everyone there.
Great. Now, you also did sound design for an Indian film. Can you tell us about that experience?
Yeah, so it was in India we don't just have one film industry, so there are different film industries, right? So different local film industries. So the province I come from, we speak a language called Odia. This Odia film industry is still growing, it's still budding out, but they have very good creators and filmmakers. And one of the music composers, who is a very Ashish Pradhan, is a friend of mine. So he actually was scoring for a Odia movie, and he needed sound design. And I was here during the pandemic, and he contacted me and asked me whether I could help him out with the sound design. I was like, I will be more than happy to do that. And so that was an exciting experience. It showed me a lot of the intricacies of filmmaking, like how the process goes on and what are the frameworks that go into each section of it. And it was a unique experience because I was also learning quite a bit about filmmaking in general. So that was pretty interesting.
Great.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting that.
No worries. What advice do you have for immigrants hoping to find their footing in Alberta's art scene?
Just keep trying. When I came here, I had no clue what I was going to do. But show up at wherever you can. Show up at performances, show up at, if you're a visual artist, show up at galleries, show your art to people you think will help you, or just to anybody. Like, you never know who is going to help you there. So my biggest advice would be just keep trying, keep doing it. Have your expectations low, but keep doing it. Then when you get the fruit of that expectation, that will be very fulfilling.
Great. Thank you so much, Partha.
Thank you.
That was Partha Sarathi Gouda, the Immigrant Council for Arts Innovations Artist of the Month for May. You can follow Madhuban Performing Arts on Instagram and find out more about ICAI by going to ICAIonline.org.